Okay, recap time. Let's talk about all things Super Bowl. There goes the football. Go sports, go sports. Okay, so we're gonna go back in time a little bit to start. The year is 1920. Prohibition just started. Women were just given the right to vote. The radio just started. Most importantly, just kidding, not most importantly, but the NFL starts, except it isn't called the NFL yet. It's called the American Professional Football Association, but that's not super important right now. Anyway, the American Professional Football Association started when basically a ton of team owners in Ohio got together. Yes, the Dayton Triangles. I will never be over this. Got together to form the APFC to, quote, raise the standards of professional football in every way possible, eliminate bidding for players between rival clubs, and to secure cooperation in the formation of schedules. So Big Ohio meeting was in August. By September, there is a meeting part 2 where representatives from teams in 4 states, Ohio, Indiana, New York, and Illinois, hopped on board. And then in 1922, they officially became the NFL. And they pretty much trucked on unthreatened and monopolizing the football scene all the way through the 50s and until 1960 when the American Football League was founded. Yes, confusing names. Literally everything is American or national. It's all very complex. Anyway, this is a whole new league made up of owners who hadn't been allowed ownership of existing NFL teams, so they literally just made up their own league. Through the 60s, they were seriously rising in popularity and competitiveness, and in 1966, a deal was struck to combine the leagues a few years later in 1970. But pre-official merger, they decided to have a shared draft and also a mega championship game, which would come to be known as the Super Bowl, but for now is called the AFL-NFL Championship Game, which doesn't really have the same ring to it, but whatever. So anyway, now everyone is NFL, but divided into 2 conferences, the NFC and the AFC. Yes, we're back to our favorite 2 vocabulary words of all time. A few teams have shifted, but it's basically the old NFL and the AFL. And we still have these conferences, but they look pretty different. I changed the green to gray because it got kind of hard to see with the blue dots. But anyway, these are the teams today. So for example, in this playoff season, we got down to these 14, and then these 4, and then the Cincinnati Bengals went out of all the AFC teams, and the LA Rams went out of all the NFC teams. And so that matchup is the Super Bowl. And we call it the Super Bowl because championship matchups have been called bowls since the 20s, starting with the Yale Bowl. And look at all these bowls. It's like a dishwasher in there. I'm so sorry. Anyway, but Lamar Hunt, the Chiefs owner, coined the term originally, and he has also said that it might have been because his children loved the Super Bowl at the time, so it might have just been in his head. But anyway, that's kind of fun. The winner of the Super Bowl will win the Vince Lombardi Trophy. He won both Super Bowl I and II, as well as 3 NFL championships before the Super Bowl was a thing, and is considered by many to be the greatest coach in football history. The Super Bowl uses Roman numerals to name each Super Bowl because football seasons stretch over 2 years, except for Super Bowl 50, which they aptly named Super Bowl 50. There are 2 teams tied for the most Super Bowl wins, the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers, both with 6 wins each. There are 108 footballs made for each Super Bowl team, all made by Wilson in Ada, Ohio. 54 for practice and 54 for the game. The venue of each Super Bowl is chosen based off of a ton of factors, 3 to 5 years in advance, but these 3 cities have hosted the most. The city must have an active football franchise, an average of more than 50 degrees in early February, though this can be thrown out if the stadium has a roof, seats for at least 70,000 people, and sufficient infrastructure. Weirdly, until 2021, no team has ever played the Super Bowl in their home stadium until the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were the first ever, and now we're doing it again. So let's talk about this year. This year's game will be the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Los Angeles Rams. It will be played at SoFi Stadium in LA, which is actually the home stadium for the Rams. The halftime show will be Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar. The Super Bowl will be a very rare meeting of number 1 overall draft pick quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford was the number 1 overall pick of the Lions in 2008, and Joe Burrow was the number 1 overall in 2020. This has only happened one other time. Also fun, these will be the youngest head coaches ever at a Super Bowl so far. Coach McVay is 36, and Coach Taylor is 38. Little baby head coach is so cute. The Rams have been to 4 Super Bowls, but have never won. The Bengals have been 2 other times, but have also never won. And the Rams are favored to win by 4. So that's the Super Bowl. A little history, a little of this year. Let me know who you want to win, and stay tuned for more.